Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure unboxing and review we're going to be looking at the Transformers the Movie Retro Generation 1 toy line version of Thundercracker. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to have a look at the entire contents of the packaging. We're going to have a detailed look at him in both of his modes to help you decide how you want to display him. What we'll then do is do a direct comparison with him and his original Generation 1 self. We can then do some display ideas and see how he looks and compares with the newest version of Starscream, and then imagine how he's going to look with Skywarp as well. And then for those of you who only buy sort of newer figures and you're wondering sort of how he compares to some of the newer figures, this is of course the latest version, full-size one of himself, so we can see how he looks and again compares with that. Right, a couple of quick things as I'm putting these away. I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel to hit that subscribe button for me now, please. And then very quickly thank In Demand Stores from the UK, because that's who I purchased this from. And as you can see, they got it out to me nice, quickly and safely. The other thing as well, before we have a look at the guy inside, we have to really appreciate this beautiful, beautiful box art. Now, it is a bit of a shame that it's obviously closed off window, but if you've got artwork like this, then I'm really not fussed at all. On the top of the box, we've got the transformation process, which is really quite simple. We can see we've got Unicron coming in at the top, and the pictures, in fact, actual images of the toy is on that side. And there is the tech spec. If anybody would like to read that, they can pause that and have a read of it for themselves. One other quick thing I need to do is just to show you, in case you're wondering, if you're wondering how the box size compares to the original G1, they are identical. So if you're looking to get this and maybe display it or put it in a case, all you would look for is a Generation 1 sized box, because they do exactly that. They're the same dimensions, so you could display this in a lovely plastic case, no problems or issues whatsoever. Okay, let's open up the box and have a look at him. Okay then, so I've literally just took him out of the box. This is how he is packaged now. Of course, no plastic bubbles inside. We've got an abundance of accessories in this bag, which I'm just going to empty out right now. And as you can see, he's not tie wrapped in. He's tied in by these, it's borderline rope, to be honest. It really is sort of quite thick, and it does keep him nice and safe. Anyway, let's have a look at the actual toy then. And on, first impressions, it is incredibly light, much lighter than the original one. And in fact, a bit of a surprise, to be honest, because he comes packaged like this. It only makes sense to have a look at him first and foremost in his alternate mode, which of course is the F-15 jet, which is beautiful. So it's pretty much done. Just make sure these are out of the way. If you've got no experience of a G1 figure, these will be his arms. Take the head part back, push this through there, and then align this together and clip the nose cone in. These will then fold behind. You can see these two tabs here will then indeed do exactly that. Be tabs for the front to compact and compress over. The other thing that just stands out straight away is this beautiful looking orange cockpit with the blue lines over, which again, just very quickly, we're going to have a look at it in more detail in a second, is vastly different to the original. It's much lighter, and these lines really do set it off. Also, I suppose while we're here, you can just see the difference. And of course, the best thing about this, in my opinion as well, is no actual stickers. These are tamper graphed on, so you haven't got to worry about getting them in the right place, having them on the squiff, etc., things like that. Right, let's build him up into his jet then, because for those of you who didn't really know either, this I suppose is one of the original parts former Transformers. For exactly that reason, you've got to put everything on it. So we've got the rear tail fins, which are quite big, like so. You've got your hole there. This will line up like that. This can then just press completely in. Then we've got the other tail fins at the back, the smaller ones, tail wings rather, and you can see here they are identical, but one side has got the cutouts, so obviously you don't really want the cutouts showing, like so. This will fit in there, and again just rest neatly on there. Just be aware of these are the things that tend to break the most if you're trying to buy vintage ones. You always find these with snapped bits inside. One final thing just to put at the bottom, which is brilliant, this is the landing gear, and indeed there we have, there he is, Thundercracker in his new movie color glory. And it's stunning, it's lovely, it's really good. It is still just a Generation 1 figure, but the color scheme on it is so vastly vastly different. Right, let's have a look at these. Now, these are my only bugbearer. They were with Starscream, and I'm sure that most people are going to agree. Let me just hold that up there in case anybody wants to screenshot it, just to see how nice or how light it is, shall we say. My bugbearer is these missiles and rockets, etc. I'd rather them just take the springs out of these and give us the smaller projectiles again, rather than these enormous ones, because these just, they look ridiculous. I don't think they do it any justice whatsoever. Let me see if I can get it to click in. I'll show you what I mean. So these are, I suppose, the little missiles that you would usually put in the jet when he's in alternate mode for G1. If that comes off, no problem whatsoever. Let's just reattach it underneath, and which you can see now. I'm sure you'll completely agree that that looks, I'm gonna have to say it looks awful. It doesn't look anything like the picture on the back. Now, if you were using the original Generation 1 attachments, that is exactly what it would look like. It would look pretty much like that. Now, funnily enough, I've only got on the one here in front of me, I've just got his normal arm missiles, or arm rockets, shall we say. This is from the G1 version. So even with the longer versions from G1, you can see that that looks much better. I mean, yes, this one's got the firing spring, which again isn't even that powerful. I would have much rather seen no springs and had the correct or the matching G1 attachment, shall we say. Right, one thing I want to show you now, this isn't even in the instructions, by the way. This, of course, is the Generation 1 additional Megatron figure that comes with him. Well, based on his Generation 1 appearance is what I mean. You can build this together just by attaching that tab into there. And then, as I say, what we can then do, this was mainly designed for the Starscream mold because of that cartoon episode where he does this. And this, as I say, isn't in the instructions. You've got this little bit there where you can attach Megatron to, push him and clip him over, and you can indeed carry Megatron along like that, which is fine. You could, if you wanted to, turn it the other way, or you don't even have to at all. It's just, as I say, a little bonus that it's not even in there. So you could pop it there. It does take a little bit of pushing over because you are pushing over some metal, to be honest. So yeah, if you're unaware of that, the G1 figures, this part here is all die cast, so be aware of that. Especially don't look to chip it. With regards again to the stickers, there's none on the underside, which is amazing. So even though he's in robot mode, you can see you haven't got any of this underneath there. None of that around the hips. The only thing you've got is a slightly different, and it's not the way the light's reflecting. It is the grey colour to match his torso, but there's no other difference. There's no stickers. It's brilliant. Right, let's transform him into his robot mode then. And as I say, you can just literally pull all the parts off if you wanted to. I'm going to do it, hopefully trying to keep them all on. So very simply, fold out the feet, take the tail fins or tail wings and fold these that way. Even though, again, on the pictures, it's sort of suggesting that you swap them over. It's up to you entirely. If you don't want the gap showing, you can take it off and reposition them. Move the wings down, push through the back like so. These are going to be the arms. Bring them over, and then what you're going to do, you're going to separate the nose cone like so, and then push this through. This will come through over to the top, and because he's not a cone head, fold that down. That's, of course, one of the most striking differences between this and the original. That is the head, which has just been painted really, really well, in honesty. Right, you can then bring the wings up, and these I've just noticed as well. These are completely new colours. I've not seen these on any of the ones, even including the E-Hobby Black Starscream and Sunstorm. I've not seen any grey hands, so these look completely new. You've got tabs at the bottom, which is new as well, and this is again for the Megatron gun. So let me show you what I mean by that. So we're going to attach that there. These take a bit of force to push over again. If you've not had experience with G1, push it over, it'll clip over. Take the Megatron gun. Now you can see you can't pop this into his hand, so what you need to do is put the top half in, and then if I bring this close enough, lift this up. Now you're going to need the wing out of the way as well, to be honest. This is going to then connect via that port underneath, and if you're lucky, and if you keep your arm raised like so, you can still display him. If you want to move the arm down to it catches the wing every time. So that's only, I suppose, the little negative with regards to that, but you need to keep it up. The other thing that I didn't do is bring the missile launchers off the back of the wings like so, and attach these via his shoulders. And these are the parts, if everybody was sort of wondering why there was a little bit of fuss with the new core class figure version of Skywarp and he didn't have the missiles on him, that's because pretty much most of the Seekers from G1, you put the missile launchers or the rocket launchers, whatever you want to call them, on the side. Starscream specifically had null rays, but with these you'd attach the rockets to the side. Let's just move this out of the way again to get some proper comparisons, just with with a white background. The colour difference is really apparent. The Decepticon logo's the other way around. You can see you've got the different coloured fists, which is great. And again, these are the, as I say, actual missile launcher, shall we say, shoulder things that he should have, not these. So again, even though it's a reissue, you've got the two different ones. That's supposed to be for alternate mode. This is for robot mode, and it just doesn't work for me. I'm really sorry. It just doesn't. And especially when the spring isn't working either. So I'm going to pop him in. This is pretty much, again, how you're supposed to display him. I think it means that there's going to be some venom in that if we've got the springs in. Not really that much, but you can still fire them, which you can see. Right, let's finish that off, put that there, and let's do just a few more, I suppose, thundercracker comparisons. When I say a few more, I'm just going to bring in the latest version of him for you to see. Well, it's not the latest, sorry, the Earthrise version, because the core class is just, it's not really a fair comparison. So you can see massively how much they've improved them over the years. Huge difference there with that, with regards to everything. Right, let's bring in these guys just for now, because at the moment, as they stand, this is the retro toy line 1, 2 and 3. I've got a Hound coming up soon as well, so you can see how they all look together. The most striking thing for me when I see this is just the big lack of stickers on them all, which is, again, I'm fine with. It means you haven't got that decision in your head of, do I put him stickers on it or don't I? Right, this is of course the original one, so it's going to be interesting to see what sort of colour scheme they do with Skywarp. And then just for some more, I suppose, sort of obscure comparisons with some of the same use of the mould. And again, for those of you who get quite annoyed with the fact that that they use remolds all the time, if you think back, every single Seeker from the day dot, even before Transformers was started into the Diaclone days, they just reused the same Seeker molds. So we've got E-Hobby Black Starscream here, and we've got E-Hobby Sunstorm as well. So let's, fingers crossed, we actually get a Sunstorm figure in the future as well. But you can see there, it's just a great mold, and you can see why they keep using it over and over again. I wonder how far they'll go with this though. But I'm going to bring this video to a close now. So the other accessories that you probably have to put away is the 2 long rockets, the Megatron gun. I think I'm going to display with the Megatron gun, to be fair. And what I tend to do as well is usually put the landing gear in the cockpit as not to lose it. But anyway, this was the Transformers the Movie 86 version of Thundercracker. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Take care.